Follow me on these, man. This is your
Everybody, it's Jonathan
show.
Bolano with Bolano Home over at Keller Williams. Just getting ourselves situated as always.
You going?
Yeah, everything's on. Jonathan, you want to join us?
Yes, sir.
We'll call Russ in like 3 seconds.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing?
So I'm gonna go through and share everything. So just give me 5 seconds. And
in the meantime, I'll remind you guys about our what we remind you every week: $250 Amazon gift card for everyone. Not for everyone.
come on,
everyone
really?
can enter to win a $250 Amazon gift card. The way to enter is to share our videos. Each share is an entry. If you share 2 or 3 videos, you get 2 or 3 entries. It's a real easy way to try to win $250 Amazon gift card. We already had our first winner, and she went and used it on some stuff for her house. So yeah, I mean. Also, in the meantime, can we all say? I know not everybody's a Patriots fan out there, but
we don't worry about those people.
Go Patriots!
We don't worry about those people.
See if we win another one.
I think we could be more optimistic than that.
I'm excited. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. That Rams team is pretty decent, pretty good.
Get some good representation on this.
Yeah, I know.
In a few seconds.
Russell has the nice sweater going.
I know we should have all Patriots it out.
I know.
Had to.
But as always, I was all right. I was super early and you were late, so.
Yeah, I'm late to my own house. So welcome to my house. Welcome to hashtag Real Estate Talk. Today we have a special guest for you guys. His name is Russell Gorman from Russ Gorman Painting. He is a 3rd generation painter that's been doing this since he was 14 years old. I mean, he's got a lot of great experience and he runs an awesome business. We'll get more into that in a second. But first and foremost, I do want to welcome you guys again and make sure to remind you, share the video because every time you share, you get the chance to win the $250 Amazon gift card. What does that mean? It means that every time you share, you get an entry. And we're going to do this every quarter, and we'll let you guys know about the stuff in between. I know you already got into that. So, let's see. What else is there? First and foremost, I also want to get into listings. What do we have going on in Bolano Home? And I don't want to stick too long into this because it's more important to focus on our special guest today. So we have 71 Ferris Street over in Pawtucket, Rhode Island in the Darlington area that is up on the market. It's $214.9 thousand. It's got 3 beds, 1 bath. All the floors have been done up again, and you got a single car garage in the back. I mean, the house is just ready to move in, and it's perfect. And if you're looking, if you know somebody that's looking for a single family home in the Pawtucket area, this is the spot for you. Give us a call because we'd love to show you the property. Outside of that, we got a bunch of stuff coming up. We have another single family just around the corner from there, another 3-bed, 1 bath. That's going to be coming up on the market. Oh, 4-bed, 2 bath. I apologize. I got Lisette back there. Thank God she's there today. But anyways, that's going to be coming up on the market in 2 days. That means he's upstairs. Sorry, guys. Always fun with the technical difficulties. I left it on so that way when Jonathan got here and when Russ got here, I wouldn't leave them hanging upstairs. But anyways, outside of that, we got another piece of land that's coming up on the market. It's a ½ acre of land where it's zoned for residential 2-family. So if you know a builder,
What city?
Pawtucket.
Nice.
Yes. So if you know a builder that's going to be looking, or you know somebody that would like to build 2-family properties onto a lot, there's someone that's got that interest, maybe an investor that you're working with, you're a real estate agent in this area, and you know somebody that would want to use a ½ acre of land in the Pawtucket area, then give us a call because that's going to be coming up on the market soon as well.
That's awesome.
We have a few other things in the works, but I'm not going to go get too much into that. Next most important thing is the current market. What's going on for you out there that are paying attention to the real estate world? And that is we are still in a buyer's market. And what does that mean? We have a high supply but a low demand. And that means that we have a lot of properties out there but not enough buyers out there to start buying them up. So if you are a buyer, this is definitely the market for you because this means that you have no competition out there with other buyers. You have the pick of whatever you want that's on the market. The pick of the litter, yes. Let's see. Jumping forward, another exciting thing that Bolano Home has going on, we're going to be getting our Massachusetts license soon. So just want to throw that out there that if you are in the Massachusetts area, that is something that we are excited to present out there to you guys. A lot of cool things that are happening in 2019, and you guys are on the forefront of getting to see that everything that's going on. And that sums up my real estate stuff, which I think I did a pretty good job because that was 3 minutes in, and I said all of that when I said that I was going to do it in 8.
I gotta say, and people out there can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but the only thing missing was from Ace Ventura when he goes and then goes off. I don't know how many times you breathe in that spiel.
All right. So you wanted to get into a few things. I'll let you have the floor.
All right. So I just wanted to touch on pre-approvals one more time because we're getting a little bit of we're noticing some people are very reluctant to get that pre-approval, and I want you guys to really understand that with that pre-approval is where you're really actually able to buy a house, able to put in an offer. Without that pre-approval, you basically have nothing. You can give loan officers your information. They can tell you, oh, you qualify for this much, that much. But if you don't have, if they haven't seen your income, if they haven't seen your bank statements, your pay stubs, there's no real approval there. There's no pre-qualification. It's just based on a verbal, you telling them what you have. You as an agent, you know how that looks. If somebody comes to you and they don't have a pre-approval and they try to put an offer in,
no one's going to take them serious.
Exactly.
Pre-approvals are very important. They're the ticket to the ride.
Correct.
Or to the game.
That's how we use it. It's a ticket. Yeah, ticket to the Super Bowl right there. That's
I
what
was going
that
to get
is.
to that game. I was going to talk into our little side thing that we got. The game with real estate and all that fun stuff that we have coming up down the pipeline. All right, keep going.
Listen, it's right now. It's Super Bowl.
I'm sorry.
Anything that has to do with game is Super Bowl for me.
All right, let's make it happen.
But yeah, and I think one of the major issues is people are reluctant to have their credit pulled. The problem with that is without having your credit pulled and seeing what debts you actually have, what payments you have to make per month, we'll never know if you really will qualify or not, if you can afford the property that you're looking to put an offer in on. Again, you might feel like, oh yeah, I can make that payment if I have to, blah, blah, blah. But the bank, the mortgage company, the lender has to see that the numbers are right, that your debt to income ratios are right. So very, very important when you get in a pre-approval, make sure, just feel confident to, work with somebody you're confident with and comfortable with, feel them out, and you do have to give them the permission to pull your credit and be able to look into all that stuff.
But how much of an impact does that have on somebody's credit when they do?
So it's not.
Because I know that a lot of people are really worried about their credit score really kicking downward.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get into next. Is it's not a big hit. It's a soft pull on your credit. It's really just to see where you're at. I mean, whatever. If you, let's say you pull your credit and you're like, you decide not to buy, you keep making your payments. It's going to go right back up. It's not going to be anything that's going to affect you long term or really a big, huge effect on your credit. Also, you can pull your credit a few times in 30 days, in that 30-day period. So if you get your credit pulled by one loan officer, then you go to another one to kind of, test out what they can offer you, what programs are better. They're not going to be lowering your credit each time you pull it within that 30-day period, because it wouldn't be fair to the buyer. It wouldn't be fair to you to lower your credit just because you're shopping around. So that's a very important piece. If as long as you're within that period, you can get it pulled a few different times, so you can get a different, you can compare rates, or you can compare who you're working with, who you feel more comfortable with. And every one of these lenders and every one of the banks or whatever it may be has protections and safeguards in there for your information. So it's a vital part of the loan process. It's something that just needs to be done.
Right, and so none of your offers are, like you said, are going to be taken seriously if you don't have that by your side. Some people do a pre-approval, some people do a pre-qual. I know that we put a precedence on a pre-approval because of the type of documents that they ask you for, pay stubs, taxes, income, all that fun stuff. So we really want to stress to you guys that this is not something for you first-time home buyers, for buyers in general to be afraid of, that this is a normal part of the process of things that you need to get done prior to getting your offer accepted at a property. And no matter whether you go to a loan officer that's going to do a pre-qual or they start with a pre-approval, you're going to have to go through the pre-approval process no matter what. Because they're going to have to ask you for all those same documents. So don't think that just because you're working with somebody that only does pre-quals that you can skate under the rope just by avoiding that. But because it's going to have to come up. And when it does come up, you're looking at more headaches because it's going to be in the thick of things.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think I mean, wouldn't you rather know up front, hey, this is how much I qualify for based on my income docs, my tax returns, my pay stubs, my bank statements, everything that the loan officer needed to see. It came out, yes, this is how much you qualify for. Versus, yeah, you qualify for around $250, and then we get to submitting all the documents. Oh, now that I look at your income and all that stuff, you only qualify for $200.
Right.
And now you're ready to put an offer on a house that was $240, $235.
Correct.
And there's no point in having that headache. So, for all of you that are reluctant or a little iffy about it, it's really an important part of the process, and you're only going to help yourself by doing it. Even if you find out you don't qualify because when we pull your credit or whatever, we see, hey, you're not ready yet. Guess what? Now you got a leg up on getting it in the right direction and being able to qualify down the road. It's a win-win for you to get this done.
Yes.
So if you're looking to buy a house, obviously.
Right. So like you said, whether you're looking now or you think you're going to be looking in a year from now,
Correct. That's what
it
I
is
mean,
perfect to get this pre-approval done ASAP, because it gives you a good view of what you have going on, and if you need to start making corrections, at least you know in advance before you do get serious and all your finances are in order. And then all of a sudden you find out there's like a few new things that you didn't realize, but you would have back then. We just really wanted to get that out to you guys and let you guys know. But this entire video, actually,
just a quick reminder.
7,500.
Yeah, we still have the program still out there. The grant's still out there for the $7,500 towards the down payment. Us working with Rhode Island Housing. It's a great grant if you need help with down payment. You don't have you have enough cash maybe for closing costs or maybe for something you want to do to the house later on, but you need the down payment money. It's a great help, $7,500. As long as you stay in the house for 5 years, you don't have to pay it back. We've touched on a bunch of the stuff in previous videos, and we'll touch on it again in another video.
Yeah.
But feel free to contact me, contact Mr. Bolano.
Yeah, shoot your number out there.
Yeah, it's 401-365-7161. Shoot me a text, give me a call, or you can reach me on here or on Jonathan Agadello, MLO. Just a quick message or an email and let me know, you're interested in that grant. It's great especially for first time home buyers. It's just a great help.
Yeah.
With that down payment.
Yeah. So once again, we have other videos up about this, and if you are interested in the $7,500 down program and utilizing this grant, definitely give Jonathan a shout out. Once again, what is that phone number?
401-365-7161.
And if not, go to @Jonathan Agudelo MLO on Facebook or Instagram, and you can direct message him, sneak into those DMs over there.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Hopefully the floof doesn't find it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Jenny,
you
gotta murder him.
But anyways, we do have a lot of people flying through right now. We welcome you guys. We appreciate you guys joining us. But for the thick of the things and for the meat of the show today, I want to put all our precedents and all of our welcoming out to Russell Gorman, who we're going to bring on right now. Once again, he owns Russ Gorman Painting. And come on, sit down with us. Thank you for joining us.
What's going on,
Thank you guys for having me.
So I'm going to check right there. Remember guys, this is a live interactive video, so if you do have questions about anything that's going on, whether it's real estate related, loan related, or painting related, you guys can plug it up on your Facebook feed, and I'm going to keep looking back all strangely and make mention of those, so that way we can stop in the middle of whatever we're doing and answer your questions, because that's ultimately what this is for. But Russ Gorman right here has run his painting business for 2 years. He's been painting since he was 14 years old with his father, and he is the third generation painter. So I mean, when I talk about experience, I'm talking about real experience, not somebody that just woke up yesterday and said, "Hey, I know how to flip a paintbrush around. I know how to cut and roll. I roll on the ground all the time whenever I'm playing with my kids." No, this guy's the real deal, and he's someone that I thought would be extremely beneficial for all of you out there that are watching, to kind of take in some of that knowledge, take in some of that experience, so that way if you're looking to paint the interior of your home, this is the model to follow. This guy right here, because he does everything perfectly. And let's say you don't want to do all that work and you don't want to have to go through all that, Russ is going to go into explaining what to focus on when you are hiring a painter, and what a good job is going to look like, what kind of work behind the scenes is going to happen in order to make sure that you get your money's worth both today and 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So Mr. Gorman.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you have the floor. Talk about the first thing that you pay attention to when walking into a property, and then I'll let it flow from there, and just ask questions as you're going.
All right, excellent. So basically what to look for when hiring any contractor for that matter. I'm going to come into your home and I'm going to diagnose the area that you need servicing in. So you're going to say, Russ, I need painting in my entire house, or I need painting in a living room, a bathroom, whatever it is that you need serviced. I'm going to go in that room or the house, and I'm going to scan the area. I'm going to look at everything from the walls to the ceiling to the baseboard to your doors, and I'm going to recommend things to you. I mean, obviously, if they have like holes in their doors or holes in the wall, those are all things that got to get repaired before the paint job is done.
Of course.
But first and foremost, once we, get through everything and we sign a contract, I'm going to come in your home, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean everything from top to bottom.
Right.
So what I mean is I'm going to vacuum. I'm going to wipe the walls down. I'm going to
get into the corners, all those cobwebs.
I'm going to get everywhere that, maybe you haven't cleaned in 10 years. God forbid. Hopefully it's not that long.
It's possible.
No, but I mean, the point of doing that is, when you're putting fresh paint on the walls, it needs to adhere to the surface as best as possible. You can't paint over dirt and debris and, holes, and say if you even have like the littlest things like a pinhole from a nail from a picture on the wall, like stuff like that at the end of the paint job. It's going to be obscured. You're going to see that it's going to be enunciated. It's going to show.
So when you first walk into a job, the first thing you look for are all the imperfections and the things that you're going to have to work with in that property. What's the next thing that you do after you realize like there's holes in the walls, or some of them may have not been done properly, so you might have to sand it? Like what are some of the things that you do next?
So the big thing is when it comes to painting, it's not just like John said. You can't just go in there and you can't just slap paint on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually a lot more than that. It's when I come in, I'm going to give you a professional job top to bottom. So it's all about the prep work and painting, just like any other contract. And even you guys, it's all about the work you do before.
Correct.
Like what you're doing
very
now.
true. Yes.
It goes hand in hand with any career. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to prep your house. So I'm going to caulk, I'm going to sand, I'm going to plug all them holes. I'm going to make sure that the room is fine-tuned before the paint job is put on. So by the time the end of the paint job is done, everything's going to look solid.
Nice.
It's going to look perfect, the way it should be, the way it was intended to be, and you're going to come out with a quality job.
That's good. That's great stuff. So now that you've gone through those types of things, what are some other like special things that you focus on? Like, let's say you're in a kitchen and I know that being Latin, we have oil all over the backsplash, everywhere that you can think of, on the ceiling, on the floor, on the dog's hair, on the kids' hair. I mean,
we make chicharrón. That's all it is. Oil everywhere.
So, what are some things that you do to get through those kinds of problems?
Sure.
Through wallpaper, through paint stains from like kids putting magic markers in kids' rooms. Like, what are those special things for kitchens, bathrooms, kids' rooms? And even up to living rooms that you focus on.
Sure. So basically what it's going to come down to is what the customer ultimately wants. So if they bring me into a bathroom and, for instance, if there's like mold or mildew residue up on the ceiling or the walls, it may be because of a backed up exhaust fan, which is something entirely I don't, deal with, but you might want to get that fixed before I paint.
Yeah.
But once it's fixed, what I can do is I can come in and I can treat those areas. So I can put a mold and I can put a mildew resistant paint, which is what you're supposed to do. Just to speak off, experience. I had a high-end home in North Smithfield that I just went and painted a few ceilings. A painter actually went over there and he just put flat paint over the ceiling. They were having that exact problem that we're speaking of.
Yeah.
The mold, the mildew, the little spores on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, that's fine and dandy. It's going to get covered, but in time it's going to show through again if you don't treat those areas properly. So what I'll do is I'll come in, you're gonna kill the ceiling, you're gonna put a special product that's a sealer for that mold and mildew, and you're gonna put a couple coats of that and then a couple coats of finish, and I'm sure that problem will never persist again.
Right.
Now jumping into like a kid's bedroom or a playroom with like magic marker, crayon, and stuff like that.
Yep.
What I would recommend to the customer is to put a higher gloss sheen on the walls. So with that being said, I would recommend kind of like a satin sheen instead of like a traditional eggshell sheen.
Yeah.
And what's that going to do? That's going to create a durability and a resistance to staining.
Mm-hmm.
So what you'll be able to do in the long run is if that happens to your home, you could take a wet cloth and you can just wipe that wall down, and you won't have that streaky look of if you try to clean like a flat or even an eggshell over time. The durability is going to actually fade away, and you're not going to be able to actually do that.
Awesome.
Living rooms and bedrooms, if they're not kids' rooms, I mean, typical paint. I mean, I'm not a big fan of putting flat on a wall. I believe flat only belongs on a ceiling, for obvious reasons. I think the wall should have at least some washability, some durability to last you. You know, instead of calling me back 2-3 years later and say,
Right.
hey Russ, I need the whole place resurfaced again.
So when you say typical paint, what would that be to you?
Typical paint, just like an eggshell sheen. You
Okay.
know, typical paint.
What?
You know.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
what about, so the one I'm really interested in, to be honest, is the kitchen with the oil and stuff.
Okay,
so what do you do with that?
So to go back for that, what you really need to do is you need to clean that. So you need to get a special product, and you need to clean those walls down. So
Yeah.
they got, you know, special stuff. I mean, everybody uses something different, but like a gold green or something like that, something that's durable, going to get that grease and the grime out.
Go green?
Yeah, gold green is a very good product. They sell it at Home Depot and Lowe's. I mean, there's better stuff than that, but if you're on a budget and you're trying to save time and you're trying to save money from
Reasonable.
having me do it, and you want to do it first before I get in there, something like that, some sort of product like that will go
Awesome.
a long way.
Awesome. And then I think that pretty much summed up all those touching points. So now you've gone through, you've taken care of a lot of those imperfections. You've started planning for a lot of that stuff, such as what type of paint are you going to use, how are you going to get rid of the spores. You talked about caulking and such. One of the next things that we talked about was, or actually before we even get into that, I know that when I paint, I gotta like tape up all the walls and all the corners and everything. What tape do you prefer? Like, what do you recommend for all that stuff? For both a first time painter, and then like, how do you approach that scenario?
All right, so for me personally, I'm not trying to brag, but you know, I've been painting since I was 14, like you said.
No
Come from
tape.
a family of 3 generations of painters.
Yeah.
I don't use much tape unless I'm spraying.
Yeah.
Unless I absolutely have to use paint. I mean, on a tape, I'm not going to tape.
Unless you have to use paint.
Yeah, well,
God,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry
hopefully-
about him over here.
Hopefully he does.
I'm gonna have to use paint. Of course, yeah, hopefully I use paint on the wall. I'm like some
He just
contractor.
breathes on the wall.
But the tape, you know, I consider myself a master cut brush and roller. So at the end of the day, I mean, I don't waste my money in tape. I can cut a fine line better than some people can draw a fine line with a pencil.
Mhm.
You know.
Nice.
Awesome. So then going on from there, we talked about talking about either painting a commercial property. So I know that I have investors that are watching sometimes,
Sure.
and then or versus a traditional residential area.
Okay.
How do you choose which way to do that? And I'm gonna let you talk about that. I'm gonna see if I have a technical difficulty with my phone.
Yeah.
And let you kind of blast through.
All right. So basically, I think what John's trying to ask me is, you know, when do you spray and when do you cut and rule? So basically, commercially speaking, you're dealing with a bigger contract, a bigger job, more square footage. So it's ideal for you to spray most of it. So when I say that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there, I'm going to spray the ceilings, I'm going to spray the wall, and I'm going to have a guy coming behind me. So he's going to be back brushing or back rolling. That's going to save time. It's going to be efficient. But ultimately, what I would recommend is you always finalize with a cut and a roll. The reason I say that is because as far as like a professional quality job's going to go, you're not going to get that with just spraying. There's a thing called overspray where a lot of guys don't really know what they're doing, so they overspray this heavy buildup in corners and seams, especially where the ceilings and the walls meet. I'm not a huge fan of it unless I have to. I do that mostly on exterior work or, like I said, commercial work. Residentially speaking, I'm going to cut and I'm going to roll if I can. The reason being, John, and Aquadello, is because you're going to walk into a home and the customer is not going to just want the same color throughout the whole home.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe in a foyer or, you know, an entryway or something like that, or maybe in a finished basement they got the same color, but still, the time it takes me to set up a sprayer and
Right.
to get that going, I can cut and brush that whole entire room, you know, in less time than to set that up and do it. Plus, you're dealing with multiple colors, so once again, you're gonna get that professional, that quality, cut. There's nothing better than a fine cut and a beautiful roll where you're not gonna have that, any flashing in the wall or any imperfections. When you look down the side of a wall after done being painted, you shouldn't see any imperfections. It should look like a sheet of glass.
I like that, which is something that my walls in my home does not look like. So,
have
after
to
speaking to
check
him the
them out
first
after
time,
this, huh?
no, please don't. I've actually started to feel a little bit self-conscious, so I rushed them through the front of the house. He didn't get the notice,
Yeah,
but
you kinda
I
did.
rushed him through and into the basement where I just have all basically wooden walls up. So, anyways, I was like, oh boy, gosh, I might have needed to hire somebody, but nonetheless. So I'm not going to get too big into the spraying because I don't think we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be focused on that at this moment.
Okay.
But get into the residential. How many times do you recommend kind of cutting the walls? What do you do for, like, do you do one coat? Do you do two coats? Do you sit there and just throw the whole paint?
Throw the paint right on the
Just
wall.
throw it on and just blow it with a straw?
I mean, if you hire Picasso, that's what you're going to get. But if you hire me, you're not going to get that. So basically, to answer your question, my rule of thumb, John, is 2 coats equals true color. So what's going to happen is if you put one coat, say if you have, even if it's a similar or light color, so say if you have a beige on the wall and you're going with a little darker of a beige or a little lighter of a beige, I still recommend that 2 cuts and 2 roll. So you're getting that 2 coats of paint. You're going to get that true color that you looked at as far as like the sample. Maybe you got a sample you put it on the wall. It's going to really bring that color out. You know what I mean? And you're going to get that true color. And just if I could touch on a lot of companies, just to be careful, especially the bigger companies.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I'm a small business owner myself, obviously. I'm not a big company. But the difference between the quality of work you're going to get from a bigger company that's going to send in 10 guys and they're going to get your whole house done in a few days, compared to me when I come over there and I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to fine tune everything and I'm going to get your house done in 2 weeks.
Right.
They're going to come in, they're going to have a team of guys, they're going to blast through everything. And if you're not there watching them, a lot of these paints nowadays, they say that it's
paint and primer.
Primer 1 and it's guaranteed coverage. I'm going to tell you right now, that's BS. All right? It is not always guaranteed coverage. If it's a light color, you can get away with it, but like I said, you're still not going to get that true color. But you want to keep an eye on the contract that's coming in your home. You know, ask questions. You know, say, what stage are you on? You know, is that the first coat that you're applying to the wall? Is that the second coat? You want to get involved, just like any other thing. If you have a guy coming and putting a new kitchen in, you know, you want to see step for step, you know, what he's doing and what stage he's at. You know, just for your peace of mind. But yeah, I always put 2 coats cut, 2 coats roll, no matter what.
Nice.
So along with that, if you know what you're asking, so how long? Let's say one, you know, a room the size of this one, right? What's this? How many square feet? You think this
I mean, probably what would you say, like 20 by 25, maybe?
Yeah. So like, say a room this size. What do you expect it would, you know, it would take you time if it's just a flat, you know, everything's off the wall, it's just easy. Like how much time should it take?
If it wasn't the wood finish and just
if it was just a regular wall, just a regular drywall.
I could come in and serve this room in a day.
Yeah. So see,
absolutely.
Now the reason I ask is because like how you were saying, you know, ask questions and the whole night.
Yeah, sure.
Like so, if somebody's, you know, if somebody's at your house, if one of these big companies, like you say,
sure,
a room, you said 20 by 25, something like that, right? Let's say it should take you like a day, right?
Yeah, just to get one coat on the wall and then come back the next day and cut it again. You know, because the paint has to dry, of course. So.
Correct. So let's say, you know, that's what you say on that. Right. And now if you have somebody telling you, you know, they spent half a day here and they did 2 coats just back to back and you're like, all right, you're good to go, it's done.
No.
Then now you know, like, hey, you know what, it shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be this fast. It shouldn't be this easy.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not getting quality work. So it's good to know that and to ask those questions. And
it is.
Maybe you can say, hey, when do you think you're going to be done with this room? Oh, if they give you an answer like that, like, yeah, well, we're going to do the first coat today. We'll come back tomorrow and then we'll do it again. Then you kind of like, all right, you know, it makes sense for them to do that. So keep, you know, keep it in mind and you know, ask those questions because it's very important.
Let's make sure you get your money's worth.
Yeah, it's that's what it comes down to. You know, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. You know, you're gonna have you know, people coming in underbidding small companies like myself that are gonna take more time, invest the time, put quality into their work, and make sure at the end of the day that you're satisfied and the job at the tail end is, you know, is near perfect. And by the time it's actually done, you're very happy and satisfied. And that's the only way I'm gonna get calls back.
Right.
You know?
And actually, I'm happy that you said that because I think that this next part right here is what exactly makes this like a quality job and it makes this perfect at the end because you go through and you do all this prep work and you take care of all this stuff. Sure. I mean, you're basically at the point where you got your true color and all the paint is up perfect because you're that master guy and you don't have to cut and roll and tag and tape and everything. And sure. Anyways, but you go this extra step right afterwards.
All right.
And I want you to share that with everybody about how you go back again from top to bottom cleaning everything.
All right, sure.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you know, when I get there, I mean, some people are more cleansly than other people. So, you know, you may have cobwebs in the beginning, but I guarantee there won't be none of those at the end.
Yeah, nothing to have to worry about here.
We don't have to wipe the walls down again because obviously you got fresh paint. You want to go and do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I have to clean up my workspace. And I'm in somebody's home, so I treat it like my home. So I'm going to clean up my tools, my personal belongings, and I'm going to, you know, obviously get them out of your home. And at the very end, I'm going to mop your floors. I'm going to vacuum your floors. I'm going to make sure that the room is spotless and it look better than when I first came into the room.
Which I think is an awesome factor into all this. Sure, that you put that much time and effort into every single one of your jobs, doing it like that. And for those of you that are planning on painting your own property, just realize that if you want to do an exceptional job, that these are the same exact types of mentalities and things that you're going to have to do when you're doing your work. in order to kind of get somewhat the same quality as him.
And it's gonna take time.
It's gonna take time because you're not a master cutter. Did I say
Master
that right?
painter.
Master painter.
Master painter.
So, but going from there, you're gonna go price out a property, average size, average cost. What are we looking at? I guess for someone like you.
You want like a roundabout of a room, like what they can expect to be paying and stuff.
Yeah, like a 12 by 12 foot room.
So basically, for a 12 by 12, I would say for the homeowner, if they like do it yourselfer.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on if they have all the tools and equipment.
Correct,
First off and foremost, you know, when you hire a company like myself, I have all that on hand. I don't have to go to the nearest Home Depot or Lowe's to get a ladder, to get drop cloths, paint brushes, paint rollers, naps. The list goes on and on of what you're gonna need. Sandpaper. I mean, honestly, I could keep going on and on. You're gonna spend hundreds of dollars in equipment just to be able to paint a room.
Right.
Not even including the cost of paint. And at the end of the day, your peace of mind and your sanity.
Right.
Because everybody has a job. You don't want to come home.
Money.
You want to, exactly. You don't want to come home and you just worked and come home and work again.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? You're gonna invest a couple hours here, and you're gonna get tired, or you got a family, you gotta go to soccer practice, and this and that. You have a life. So I always say leave it to the professional. But to get back to pricing, so for a 12 by 12, I estimate if you don't have any tools or equipment, it's gonna cost you a little over $300, and that's including paint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to get that room done. Whereas if you hire a professional like myself or another company, it could roughly be about, now this is just a rough estimate for 12 by 12, but about $475 to $525. And that's going to include paint, that's going to include my labor, that's going to include all the materials that are necessary to do that job.
And all those steps that you take to ensure that it's...
And at the end of the day, you're going to be at work, you're going to come back to your house, you're going to open that front door, walk into that room's going to be done.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. That's actually not a bad price to get all your time back like that. I was actually thinking
you don't have the stress,
number.
You get your sanity, you get your peace of mind back, and like I said, you walk through that door and the room's done, or, whatever have you, and you don't come and, put 2 hours of work in here, 2 hours of work in there, next thing you know, it takes you 2 weeks to paint that room.
Correct.
Right. So, that's a lot of good information. I'll just drop it right there. Let me see if we have any questions.
Can I just add one thing?
Of course you might.
If you don't mind.
The floor is yours.
One quick thing. So you hire somebody, you do the paint job yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's all about quality. So at the end of the day, I've had this happening quite a bit. All right. I hate to see people waste their money.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is you paint your home tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you like 2 weeks or whatever, and you kind of hack it.
I'm not
you
that bad.
No, I'm just saying. You want to get through it, and at the day's end, the wife told you to hire a professional, and you get it done, and then the wife says, "Hey, John, I don't like the look of this. You know what I mean? It's not good. You got the wall color on the ceiling, you got the ceiling color on the wall.
Yep.
I mean, it looks like a hot mess.
Let's point this one at him.
So
That'll
now
probably be something he can do.
Sounds
I paint well. I just I got busy on the other ones.
Listen, everybody's a carpenter, everybody's a painter, everybody's this and that. Leave it to the pros.
At the end of the day, proof upstairs.
Don't judge me.
At the end of the day, pay for it once, not twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I get calls all the time. I walk into a house, say, "Listen, we don't like this." It could be the homeowner that did it. It could be a hack paid job by another company. They came in and only put one coat on the wall, so they have it flashing. Reiterate what I said earlier.
Right.
So pay for the job once, not twice. Hire a pro. Hire somebody that's going to get it done for you. Get it done efficient, get it done fast, and give you a quality job.
Awesome. Well, for those of you out there that are watching this, I hope that was extremely informative for you. It doesn't look like you guys had many questions, but I did see a lot of you roll through this. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Russ, once again, thank you for coming by and talking to everybody.
So much, man.
Jonathan, as always, thank you for joining us as well.
Always, yeah.
For those of you out there, if you do have questions and we're not live anymore, make sure to just drop us a message under this. Leave a comment. You can always tag one of these guys or myself. Once again, Jonathan Agudelo, MLO, on Facebook and Instagram. Russ Gorman Painting, LLC, on Facebook. Do you have an Instagram right now?
No, I'm in the process of
doing that. So definitely be on the lookout for his Instagram to kind of see what work he's talking about, what has he done before, and you can kind of get a feel for the type of quality that comes out of what this guy does right here.
You want me to shoot my number just in case?
Yes, please do.
401-578-0082, Russ Gorman Painting.
And go get you a pen because I'm going to have him say this all again. And then here, if you guys need any help with buying or selling a property, somebody that's looking to buy or sell, whether you're in state or out of state, I can help you guys out with just about anything out there. Lisette and I do a lot of work with a lot of different agents and a lot of different people. So we are your one-stop shop for real estate, regardless of where you are looking to buy or sell. So 401-612-3755.
401-578-0082.
401-365-7161.
Once again, thank you guys. Share. Get that $250 Amazon gift card in that raffle. And we will see you guys, well, I'll be here by myself, but I will see you guys here next Wednesday at 6 p.m. sharp.
And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Hopefully, either when he jumps on or when we both jump on, it'll be with Super Bowl champ hats or shirts, you know what I mean?
Boom.
But, you know,
I'll see you guys when you need some paint.
Yes. Yes. All right, guys.
All right, you guys take care. Have a good night. Thanks for having me, guys.